Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Anthony Reviews, where, of course, Anthony reviews. And with 2022 now behind us, it is now time to look back at the year and see what it gave us. Because we got a lot of good figures, some bad figures, but this is going to be celebrating the good figures that came out of 2022. New figures that came out the year, figures that I purchased. That's the simple rules of the list. It's a top 10. I feel like you can figure it out from there. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10. So at number 10, we have the McFarlane DC Multiverse Parallax figure. And this is, I guess, a little bit of a technicality thing. If you follow me on Instagram, at Anthony Lantern, this figure is my profile picture. I really like this figure, honestly. But it didn't come the way I would have liked it. So first of all, the design is very unique. The design had some liberties taken with it. This is not a one-to-one with the Parallax from the comics, which is fine. You know, like, I'm all up for interpretations. A lot of these things are there. The color scheme, the sort of like high boots and the shoulder pads, like the elements are there. However, it is still a little unique, I will say. And the biggest gripe I had was the hair. As you can see here, I've painted it brown with the sort of white detailing across the back here. I've never done any sort of painting on a figure before. I'm not a customizer, so this is new to me. But this figure came with black hair, a la Kyle Rayner, if you will. Now, granted, Kyle Rayner has been possessed by Parallax before and has a similar garb. Looks nothing like this. This was not sold as Kyle Rayner. This is Hal Jordan Parallax. And I think with the paint, he looks great. He looks like Hal Jordan Parallax, which I am a fan of. However, I had to get it there. And if I have to do the work to make it an awesome figure, not really a best figure of the year. However, with the work that I did, I can't deny how much I do love the overall figure itself. I'm happy to get Parallax stuff. We don't get a lot of Parallax figures or anything really, so that is cool. But because I have to edit it, essentially, it kind of takes it out of the sort of higher spot. So this is like a technicality thing. If it had come like this would have been in the top 5, maybe top 3. Who knows? But because I had to sort of do my work, it kind of takes away from it a bit. So at the 10th spot, Parallax. Then at number 9, we have a figure that's probably not on a lot of people's list. This is the Marvel Legends Retro Spider-Man Wave Hammerhead. Hammerhead is obviously not a big Spider-Man villain. You know, he's not Doc Ock or Venom or, hell, even characters like Shocker or Scorpion. He's definitely lower on the list. However, he's still an iconic character in my opinion. You know, thinking of him, he's made video game appearances, cartoon appearances. Like, just get this guy in a movie and, you know, he'll be perfect. And I don't know, it's the head sculpt that really does it for me. I adore this head sculpt. This is Hammerhead. I think this is great. He's on a bigger body, you know, which fits for sort of comic interpretations of the character. I sort of think of him as shorter because of Spectacular Spider-Man, but hey, I think this bigger body fits. He's got some brass knuckles here on his hand, so that's nice. Overall, though, it does just come down to that head sculpt. Not to mention, if you had the previous Hammerhead, that was from, gosh, 2015, 2016, something like that. This is a huge improvement over that, and I think this guy is just awesome. I love that Spider-Man has sort of rogues that are more gangster-y, you know? Like, this guy is definitely the more mob styling of a Spider-Man villain, but because of that, I really like it. So I don't think this is going to be on anyone else's top 10 list, but for me, Hammerhead really takes it home. Next, we have the Transformers Studio Series Coronation Starscream, based off his appearance in the 1986 movie. And normally, Starscream is a bit higher on the list, you know? It's one of my favorite characters. You know, he gets figures quite often, so it's not too crazy to go a year without it, but at the same time, he's usually on there. But this one, it's still a really great figure. I love to get a new Starscream, but it is just sort of add-ons. It is the Transformers Earthrise Starscream with shoulder pads, a crown, and this cape. But this cape is cool. It's got like this articulation to it, so you can kind of display it in unique ways and have it out like like that, which is cool, you know? Like I like that you can do a lot with it. It's not just a simple thing. They added some flair to the overall design. But it is a figure that most people already have, just with extra bits and at a much higher price point. He also came with a chair, I believe. Yeah, he came with the throne. It was like a big purple throne, which is fit for a king. He never really sat in it, but it's a throne, I guess, and there's that. So this is cool. It's nice to get a Starscream, you know, always nice to get a Starscream figure. And I like the coronation look. It's a way to get it, I guess, in the line. I don't know, nothing super special, but it's me. So it's Starscream. He's going to be on the list somehow. And there was quite a few Starscreams that came out this year that didn't make the list, and I went with this guy because he came with a big plastic cape. So I guess whatever that says about me, says something. I don't know. You tell me. In the number 7 spot, we have the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive Doctor Strange figure. Once again, a figure that I see people really liking, but I don't know if I've seen a lot on their top 10s necessarily. For me, though, this is a figure that I've been needing in my collection for a long time. It was 2015, somewhere around there, we got a Doctor Strange figure, but it didn't come with a cape. Then, a few years later, if not like a year or two, I don't know, it was very soon after, we got another modern Doctor Strange that came with a cape, but I wanted a nice classic-looking Doctor Strange, and really this got us there. I have the closed eye variant, which at this point it kind of makes it look like he's doing the Pacha meme. You know, it's like, they just sing. But yeah, I just think that this is a great representation of the sort of Sorcerer Supreme. He's got the nice bright blue and the yellowing everywhere, and it's a simple figure, but it is Doctor Strange. Like, I don't think I'll ever need another Doctor Strange figure because this really nails the look. And, you know, the guy got a movie out this year that some people love, some people don't. I thought it was a fun enough time. It was good. And I just think it's good that we have a nice classic Doctor Strange for the shelf, you know, and there's some options. There's some different stuff that he came with, different heads, came with a big axe, I think. But like for this, like I said, this nice, almost like he's meditating, you know, he's doing, it's like that scene in Infinity War, you know, where he's going through all the different alternate options through time and everything. So I like this figure quite a bit. It's great to have a nice, colorful, poppy Doctor Strange figure for the shelf. Then coming in at number 6, we have G.I. Joe Classified Alley Viper. Now, Alley Vipers, I think, are just fun. You know, if you would look at this, it's a little weird. He's got this, like, battle mask that covers his eyes so you can't see. He's got a big riot shield, this weird orange and blue color scheme, but he's great. This is my favorite army builder that I have. I bought 5 of these guys, and I don't know, they're just so fun. You know, it's like fangs, get it? It's like a snake face. That's really fun. Come on, he's got these cool weapons. He's got a cool shield that has like this sort of rotating bit, so you can, you know, you can position it in different ways depending on where it is. You know, it's, you don't have to worry about like if the strap is going one way, you can only display it one way. You can have options to it, and I really like that. I don't know, this is just fun. It is the definition of fun. You know, this is so toyetic and weird and out there that you would never see it in the real world, and for good reason. So because of that, Alley Vipers have always stuck out for me personally, and they're one of my favorite sort of troops in all of the G.I. Joe world, even more so than bats. I'm sure most people will have the bat android thing on their list. Bats are fine. I also bought quite a few bats, but for me, my money is on the Alley Viper. It's just my preference. So, number 6, Alley Viper. Moving into the top 5, we have the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Phantom Ranger. Now, the Phantom Ranger is just so sleek and cool, and yeah, he's just a neat figure. There wasn't a whole lot of Lightning Collection stuff that I bought this year. Felt honestly kind of light, if I'm, you know, for me, at least for me. But for this guy, even though they labeled him as in space, and I know he was in Power Rangers in Space, he's from Power Rangers Turbo, but he looks so cool. you know, like something about this just feels like it belongs on a 80s sci-fi poster, you know, like a Drew Struzan piece. You know, he's kind of got a Star Warsy vibe, kind of RoboCop-esque. Like, obviously this is a design, a Japanese design that originated from the 90s, but he has that retro feel, you know, like if you saw this and on a really cool poster, I feel like you would assume it's some sort of like cool like 80s movie where it's like, oh, Destructor, you know, like it's something about it. It just feels timeless and iconic, and I really like this guy. I love just the all black, and I love the amount of armor. It still feels like a guy in a suit. This could be a bounty hunter for your Star Wars shelf. It could be whatever. Like, it really does stand out, and I think that's why it sticks out for me as being my favorite Power Rangers Lightning Collection figure of the year, because spoiler alert, this is the only one that made the list. So yeah, better luck next year, I guess. But you made one. This is top 5. You know, it takes a lot to get to the top 5, and at least you got one. Gotta be happy about that, at least. Please. And for number 4, we have another McFarlane DC Multiverse figure, this being the Build and Atrocitus from the Blackest Night wave. And, I mean, it's no secret, I love lanterns. I love all the different lanterns available. And Atrocitus, as I said in my review, is the Red Lantern. So, he's iconic. And we don't get a whole lot of Atrocitus stuff. I feel like there was a push to maybe get Atrocitus out there. He was the villain for the first season in Green Lantern, the animated series. You know, he's iconic. But I just feel like we don't get a whole lot of them. So when we do get them, it's exciting. I did add some like sort of black lines on everything here. But even without that, you know, I mentioned earlier the other Lantern figure I customized, but that's not enough to sort of change the opinion, I would argue. But he looks so good. He looks how you would imagine Atrocitus to be. He's big. He's scary. He's really, I don't know, intimidating. And I think they got the face really nicely. I think they got all the colors very, very, you know, nice. It's a very straightforward thing, but I feel like it does work. And something that really puts this guy over compared to some of the other bigger figures that McFarlane has released is he is articulated, you know, because he's a Build-A-Figure and not a Mega Fig, if you will, or whatever it was. Mega Figure, I think they're changing the name, kind of. He is way more articulated than some of those other ones, so that really helps Atrocitus out, is he can move, unlike some of those other guys. Speaking of articulation, we have the SH Figuarts Gohan from Dragon Ball Super Hero coming in at number 3. I don't collect a lot of SH Figuarts. I had done an unboxing video of this guy, and I sort of talked about it there. I'm not like a completionist when it comes to that kind of stuff, a lot of the import figures. And I'm not even like a diehard Dragon Ball fan, but I do quite enjoy it. You know, I saw the new film. I liked it for what it was. And Gohan is my favorite Dragon Ball character. So him having a new figure out, it was pretty affordable by my standards. I picked him up, and I'm so glad that I did, because this guy is just so much fun to pick up and mess around with. He's so articulated and everything, and it's just very easy to get him in some like fun poses. And I mean, look at how high you can get his leg up, and it's like, it's exciting. You know, for people that have SH Figuarts pretty regularly, you know, this probably is nothing new, but I mean, for me, I love just how much you can move this guy. Like, it's just so much fun to like pick up and fiddle around with, and he comes with a bunch of different pieces and everything, and he looks good, you know, he's got that Toriyama look to him, and I don't know, he's just really, really fun. So that should really go to show you just how exciting this figure is for me, because obviously with the rest of the list, there's a lot of Hasbro stuff, a lot of superhero stuff. It could have been very easy for me to pick out another G.I. Joe or another Power Ranger or whatever. But this figure just really stood out to me. And I really am thankful that I picked it up, because if I didn't, I wouldn't know how much fun he is to sort of mess around with. And And if you don't have any SH Figure Arts figures or any of the Dragon Ball figures, try one out. Get your favorite character, see what it's like, and just kind of go from there. That's all. Why not, right? Why not? For number 2, is this cheating? I don't think it's cheating, and let me sort of explain myself. I'm not a big reaction guy. I think SuperSeven is a really cool company. They're very passionate about what they do. I'm just not into a lot of the 5 POA type figures. However, I am a G.I. Joe guy. So, seeing that they were going to be doing G.I. Joe and kind of having this like what if scenario of what if instead of doing the G.I. Joes we remember from the 80s, it was instead more like Kenner Star Wars figures, you know, having the more simplistic points of articulation here. And, you know, that fantasy, like I described, a what if style to it is kind of fun. So that, I guess, sort of drew me to this, and it brought me to it so much that I bought one figure essentially 4 times. Did I need to do that? Could I have been fine with just one of these guys as my representation of reaction, you know, Cobra Commander? Sure. But I collect Cobra Commander, and now with G.I. Joe back, thanks to Hasbro's new initiative, I now have more options for Cobra Commander than ever before. And that's both a good thing and a bad thing, because now I'm giving SuperSeven way more money than I ever have before. So that's something. And yeah, I started with the Chrome one, and I think the next one was this, you know, the red bit variant, and then there was the cape, and then the glow-in-the-dark one. That one, I think, was available when I was in another state, because I think it was during Comic-Con, and I purchased it along with a hat. So SuperSeven really got me now that they're starting doing G.I. Joe stuff. So yeah, you know, I will say they were going to be releasing a different Cobra Commander figure, but it didn't come out this year, so maybe that figure will be on next year's list. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But for now, they still got me with these figures. So it's 4 figures, but it's the same figure. It's the same body. It's not like there's anything different with it. Just putting this spot as SuperSeven really, I don't know, they got me. Then at number 1, we have the Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Captain America figure. And I mean, it's great. I have a video on my channel showing off my Captain America collection. I have a very vague goal to own every Steve Rogers Marvel Legends figure there is. So of course I was going to get this, but ultimately this is Captain America. Like, this is the best looking Steve Rogers figure I've ever seen, honestly. And you can kind of have your preferences of designs or whatever, but like, as soon as I saw this head sculpt, I knew that this was going to be on my top 3. You know, maybe even I knew it was going to be my number 1. This is Steve Rogers, like, perfectly. I don't know what it is. It feels right. And with the blue and the chainmail and everything about it, it's just exactly what I wanted from a Steve Rogers Captain America figure. I adore this figure. I know the shield, you know, it's got the holes in it for the effects and whatnot, but I've got a lot of Captain America figures. If I wanted a good shield on them, I could have borrowed it from anybody else. That's not a problem. I wanted sort of Steve as Cap, and I feel like this is the image of him that I think of, you know, with the shield on his back, the cowl down, sort of showing off that he is Steve Rogers under there. He's a human being on top of wearing the red, white, and blue. So yeah, this is just perfect. I can only say good things about it. You know, I love it. I absolutely adore this figure, and that's why it's my number 1 for the year. And there you guys go. That is my top 10 figures of 2022. We've got a lot of Hasbro in here, but, you know, we've got some SuperSeven and SH Figure Arts taking up some of the top spots. We've got some McFarlane in there as well, so, you know, it's not a complete Hasbro-owned video, despite what some people may think. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see more toy content, I've got other videos, of course, on the channel. Got some collection videos. I talk about pretty much all the things that you see here, I would say. Also on Instagram, if you want more toy content there, I'm at Anthony Lantern, as well as being at Anthony Lantern on Twitter, as well as Letterboxd. If you'd like to hear some other thoughts, maybe some movie-related stuff, I also do have a podcast with my friend Kirk Beatty called The Grund, which is available on Spotify and iTunes. And thank you guys so much for watching this year. I put out a lot of different content. I'm sort of experimenting, seeing what I can get away with in a way. And hope to do more of that in the following year. So that's really it. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. Share the video if you want to let people know what this guy thinks is good, like Hammerhead or whatever. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys. Take care.